Local all morning. You're watching Fox 61 Morning News.
Everybody see life different, and everybody see this story different. And regardless what it is, you have to be in my situation like you lost a child.
First at 6, the family of a man who was shot by police in Hartford 2 weeks ago spoke up at a vigil last night. We're going to have much more on their message to everyone this morning. Thursday morning, 6 o'clock. Happy Thursday. We're almost to Friday, feeling good, but unfortunately we are in a weather impact alert for potential for more freezing rain later on today. But good morning. Thanks for checking in with us, America Arias.
And I'm Bridget Bureau. Yeah, we do have some more winter weather heading our way, but can we just take a moment and appreciate the treat we got yesterday?
Oh, it felt so great.
Beautiful sunshine, the spring conditions. Oh, we waited for that.
We got up into the 50s.
Yeah. People had an extra pep in their step walking around.
Yeah. It wasn't hard to have that extra pep, right? Yeah. Especially when temperatures felt so nice after what was a very brutal start to the morning too. So it was definitely a welcomed sight. And beyond today and tomorrow, we are going to get these really nice numbers for early next week and even over the weekend. We just have to get through the next couple of days here. So we have a weather impact alert, not for the morning, not for the morning commute, but for the evening and also towards tomorrow morning's commute for slippery conditions. We're going to have rounds of rain come through today, but as we head towards the evening tonight, we're going to have numbers that dip below freezing. That's going to lead to some slick spots on the road, some freezing rain a concern, especially for higher elevations. And for other areas, we need to watch untreated surfaces. For tomorrow morning, there may be some travel disruptions first thing in the morning, as well as maybe even potential for some school delays too. Not a widespread thing, but certainly on the table. On our satellite and radar picture now, we do have rain starting to approach as of now. So towards 7 and 8 o'clock, I think we're going to start to see some lighter rain push through, but the chance for rain really goes up towards the late morning and early afternoon. This will be more in the way of nuisance variety than anything else. And as temperatures rise to the upper 40s, or rather upper 30s to right around 40 degrees, there's no concerns of those icy spots first thing. It's towards the evening once the sun goes down that we are going to watch the concern for that freezing rain. Temperature is 25 degrees right now in Willimantic, 28 in Norwich, 31 in Meriden, and 34 in New Haven. So for the ride to school, temperatures will be around 30 degrees. Showers return for the afternoon as temperatures move to the upper 30s to right around 40. So here's 8 o'clock in the morning, where there may be a little bit of mix as those numbers continue to get up to above freezing in spots, but for the most part, I think this is more a nuisance variety shower than anything else. Then towards the afternoon, we see it taper, but then heavier rain pushes through towards the evening, and you're starting to see that mixing in our higher elevations, some freezing rain a concern as we move through the overnight hours, and then even the potential for some lighter icing in the early morning hours on Friday before we start to dry out. So there could be a prolonged period of icing in our higher elevations. That's where we think the biggest issues will be. This will be more of a nuisance variety for areas inland. Town by town today, around 41 in Wallingford, 39 in Brantford. Temperatures today, the upper 30s to near 40 in southeastern Connecticut. We have this weather impact alert for the rain that comes through, freezing rain overnight tonight, slick spots tomorrow morning, and then we gradually start to bring in warmer numbers as we head into the weekend and into early next week. We'll have more details on that coming up in just a bit. Here at 6:03. We are largely quiet, which is certainly some good news. Any road work that we had out there is a thing of the past for this morning. So taking a look at various locations across the state, like over in Southington now on 84, that looks good, as well as 91 just out by Jennings Road as you're traveling into downtown. Milford looks fine, as well as over in New Haven on 95. Over to you.
All right, thanks, Rachel. 6:04 now. Family members of Everett Walker are speaking out this morning after the 53-year-old was shot and killed by a Hartford police officer last month.
They've set up a memorial and say that Walker was experiencing a mental health crisis when police broke down his door. And the family is now calling for a change in the way police respond to mental health emergencies. Fox 61's Glenn Kittle is live in Hartford. He has the very latest. Glenn, good morning.
Good morning, Bridget. Erica, the family is calling for justice for their loved one after they say he was going through that mental health crisis when police entered the apartment. According to family members, they called 211 and had a mental health professional talk to Walker outside of the apartment for more than an hour before police entered. Now, during that vigil last night, family members say they're calling for Hartford police and other police agencies to change the way that they respond to these types of calls. According to a report from the office of the Inspector General. Officers eventually entered the apartment, and investigators say during a struggle, Walker pulled out a knife and refused commands to drop it. Police say Walker then appeared ready to stab an officer, and that's when another officer opened fire. Walker was shot multiple times and taken to the hospital, where he later died. Everin's daughter, Meenan Walker, says the loss of her sister after a long time battle with brain cancer took a toll on Everin. Meenan says he stopped eating and sleeping, lost weight, and ran out of his medication and was constantly crying. She's calling for justice for her father.
This is everything that was taken from me that can never be replaced. To the officers involved in my father's death, when you hold your daughter tight and hug her and tell her how much you love her and she's your little princess, I hope you remember that is everything you took from me. All I will have now is a tombstone and the voicemails he left on my phone that I listen over and over again at night just so I can fall asleep.
Now, at this time, the Office of the Inspector General is continuing their investigation on that shooting, as well as the shooting of Stephen Jones from just a week ago. Now, we're going to continue to follow the latest on this investigation and bring you that information as soon as it comes out. Live in Hartford, Glenn Kittle, Fox 61.
Glenn, thanks so much for the update. We'll check back. Meantime, at 6:06, at least 2 people were hurt after a car crash last night. State police say 2 vehicles crashed on Route 169 in Woodstock just after 8 p.m. 2 people were taken to the hospital by Lifestar. We're told that road has since reopened.
6:06, several families are without a home after a fire destroyed a multifamily house in Hartford. This was the scene on Jefferson Street when crews arrived just after 4 yesterday afternoon. Crews say everyone made it out safely. At least 2 people, though, were taken to the hospital. The husband of one of those people says his wife was being treated for smoke inhalation. We're told 3 families are now without a home because of that fire. No word yet on what might have sparked it.
6:07 right now, and developing this morning out of the Middle East. Iran is launching more missiles at Israel and U.S. air bases across the Gulf region. Early this morning, Israel said its military intercepted several incoming missiles in Jerusalem. Now, this comes as Israel has begun new strikes against Iranian-backed Hezbollah in Lebanon. At least 8 people were killed in those strikes. Meantime, China has sent a special envoy to the Middle East to de-escalate tensions. In Washington, senators voted to reject a war powers resolution to end President Trump's military strikes against Iran. Lawmakers blocked the measure in a 53-47 vote. The resolution would have required congressional approval before any further military action against Iran. The vote comes days after the president authorized joint U.S. and Israeli strikes, which the administration says are meant to stop Iran from developing nuclear weapons. A similar measure is expected to come up for a vote in the House later this week.
Well, the war in Iran could soon have an impact on people in Connecticut and local businesses. Fox 61's Tim Latow has the latest insight from experts on what point the economy will take a turn if the conflict doesn't end soon.
A Quinnipiac University international business professor gives the war in Iran a 3-week threshold to end. If it goes any longer, he says there will likely be long-lasting impacts on inflation in both the global economy and here in Connecticut.
No country is, from an economic point of view or manufacturing point of view, independent. We are all interdependent. So whenever there is a problem in the supply chain, we all suffer.
Quinnipiac professor Mohammed Elahi says the war in Iran will have far-reaching impacts if it lasts long enough. He believes inflation and even stagflation, a period of little or no economic growth, are very possible outcomes if the war lasts weeks or months. Shanita Alston has a family of 4 and says she's already very conscious of her spending as a result of high prices.
I'm just going to continue doing what I do, which is, budget, double check my budget, make sure I'm on course, and, just take one day at a time.
The key international shipping route through the Strait of Hormuz is idle amid the conflict. Oil is the most valuable and quantifiable raw material exported from the Middle East. Elahi says the expected shortage of oil and other raw goods will slow and could even stop production at most manufacturers around the world.
They get the input, the raw materials, just exactly when they need it. So if there is a disruption in the supply chain, the whole production process come to a screeching halt.
Lynette Johnson is frustrated with leaders for launching this conflict. She feels tough times could be coming for everyday Americans as a result.
I feel as though the leadership that we're currently under is self-absorbed, not necessarily a president for the people.
Elahi says while global leaders may have carefully examined the geopolitical ramifications of the war, he doesn't think enough consideration was given to the significance of the waterway that's now frozen from fighting.
I don't think that there was much thought to the war, its endgame, and the repercussions that it will have.
Elahi says the best case scenario for the economy is for the war to end in 3 to 4 days, although President Donald Trump has indicated it could last for weeks. In Hamden, Tim Lateau, Fox 61.
And at 6:11 this morning, Stanley Black Decker sent a letter to the State Department of Labor on Tuesday about its closure timeline for the plant on Myrtle Street in New Britain. It will come in 5 waves and will start May 4th of this year, ending April 14th of 2027. Most of the employees will be laid off in the first wave. 287 people will be let go between the first 2 weeks of May. The last 13 workers will slowly be let go after that. It is law that a company lets its employees know that it is closing 60 days in advance. Stanley Black Decker is offering them other opportunities and support.